On December 28, 2014, a young 4-year-old girl named Sarah Conley came into the hospital covered in small bumps with a case of the measles that she contracted from one of the world's biggest theme parks, Disneyland, California. Sarah, unlike most young children her age, was not vaccinated due to her parents' decision that it was not necessary. However, it is extremely necessary. After Sarah's case was discovered, the California Department of Public Health, or CDPH, was notified about 4 more measles cases contracted from the park. This led to a spiraling effect, as soon more and more cases were being discovered of measles of adults and children who had visited the theme park, all because one girl was not vaccinated. Vaccinations have become an incredible invention that has made way into this century, eradicating and close to eradicating many extremely dangerous diseases, making them seem irrelevant in today's world. Today, some parents have felt as though vaccinations for their children should be optional, arguing that it is dangerous and can cause some small children to contract things such as autism. However, studies have proven that the risks have become so small that it is really only 1 out of 1,000 children who contract these adverse symptoms, meaning that the risks outweigh the rewards in keeping more epidemics such as the Disneyland epidemic out of our schools and out of our country. After studying the subject extensively and being involved in a vaccine research team, discovering the effects of vaccination, I have concluded that all students should be required to be vaccinated in order to attend public schools. Vaccinations allow us to be protected from harmful diseases from the past that have caused havoc in our history and have killed many people. Diseases such as polio and smallpox have been eradicated thanks to vaccines. This makes it so that in our society today, we no longer think of it as a concern. We also feel safer in public situations and allowing our children into public the public as well. This is because vaccines have saved about 5 million lives since 1980, when vaccines first came out, making the world a safer place for children. This shows us how big of an impact vaccines have had in only a short amount of time, making them very useful. Many of these killer diseases are passed from person to person, making them very contagious. However, vaccines are no longer harmful. Thanks to vaccines, we are now able to eliminate many epidemics and save millions of lives. Including these life-saving effects, there is little to no risk. Doctors have been working on these vaccines for a really long time, eventually making them so that the consequences to receiving them are little to none. Vaccines work with the children's body's natural defenses to help them safely develop immunity to disease, according to the CDC, meaning that they do nothing unnatural to the body and are completely helpful and only strengthen the body. Like any medication, vaccines can cause side effects. The most common side effects are mild, and on the other hand, many vaccine-preventable disease symptoms can be serious or even deadly. Serious side effects after vaccination, such as severe allergic reaction, are very rare, and doctors and clinic staff are trained to deal with them. The side effects from vaccines are almost always minor, such as redness and swelling where the shot was given, and go away within a few days. If your child experiences a reaction at the injection site, use a cool, wet rag to reduce redness, soreness, and swelling. And all of this comes from the CDC website. Doctors are trained to treat these reactions on site, making it so that they are not dangerous. Adverse effects to receiving vaccines are very small and are considered rare. Cases are considered easy to treat by professionals, and the rewards are a lifetime of protection. As effective as vaccines are, dangerous epidemics can occur when children are exposed early on to other children who are not vaccinated. It is dangerous to mix vaccinated and unvaccinated children in public schools. Although many who purposely don't vaccinate their children or themselves claim they aren't part of the herd, or don't believe in herd immunity, they still are. They are simply an unprotected member of the herd who relies on the rest of us for protection. Choosing to not vaccinate your child puts them at risk to contract and spread contagious diseases that could harm others. Younger children are also at risk for polio, rubella, and mumps until they are old enough to be vaccinated. Considering that there are about 4 million births a year in the United States, that puts a lot of infants at risk for measles, pertussis, and other vaccine-preventable diseases. By putting them in a public environment with other young children, they are easily susceptible to these diseases because most children are not fully vaccinated until the end of elementary school when they receive their last round of vaccinations. This means that when in a classroom with children who are not protected, many deadly diseases are at risk of spreading throughout the school or classroom. Parents typically think that it is only their unvaccinated children and themselves who will be at risk for vaccine-preventable diseases, which they often think are not dangerous, another anti-vax myth. Unfortunately, as the increasing number of outbreaks of measles in the United States is showing, anti-vaccine myths are not true. Even though parents who choose to not vaccinate their children believe that it poses no risk for the rest of us, they are very wrong. Vaccinations are a creation that have helped millions today. Ever since being created, vaccines have caused a lot of controversy between those who believe in it and those who don't, especially in public schools. However, there is more than a question of opinion. It is a question of safety. To fully protect yourself and your children, they should be fully vaccinated before being allowed to be in a close day-to-day interactions with other children in public schools. We must fight to protect not only ourselves, but our family, our children, and our country.